I am a huge Star Wars fan, obviously. Now, I haven't read most of the expanded universe, but I know more than the average person about the galaxy far, far away. Now, I've been wanting to share something with you all for a long while now. This is my idea of the Star Wars prequel reboots. Now, it's awesome that we're getting a new Star Wars movie. I mean, Episode 7, The Force Awakens, looks awesome. And I hope that it makes the Star Wars franchise great again. But once we're through this trilogy, then what's next for this franchise? I think we really should try again with the prequels. Now, they were a great idea, an origin story to Darth Vader, the best villain that I know of. That sounds amazing. But the prequels just fell flat in their tone, the acting, and the storytelling. It was just all really disappointing.
You're not all powerful.
Well, I should be.
Now, don't get me wrong, I went to go see these movies in theaters, and I loved them as a kid. I got the toys for Christmas, and I watched them over and over again on DVD. But that doesn't make them good movies. I grew out of it. Anybody with common sense will. My biggest problem with all three of these movies is the plot holes that they create in the original trilogy. Episodes 1, 2, and 3 had a great opportunity to expand on what was already given to us. But this opportunity was just wasted on squeaky droid voices, pointless characters, bad dialogue.
He's jealous! He's holding me back!
And overly complex lightsaber battles that really didn't convey the emotion that we saw in the original trilogy. Honestly, the original trilogy will always be the perfect way to be introduced to this world. It's kid-friendly enough that you can watch it at a young age, but it's complex enough that you'll appreciate it as an adult. The prequel trilogy, in my opinion, should have been much darker, much grittier, and much more brutal. This should have been aimed at an older audience, so that we could grow up with the franchise. Plus, it's the origin story to Darth Vader. It should be darker, it should be more grim. Now, it still needs to be Star Wars. We need to get that sense of wonder, like we're going on an adventure through space. But like Obi-Wan says, we need to see the transition to the dark times.
For over 1,000 generations, the Jedi Knights were the guardians of peace and justice in the Old Republic. Before the dark times. Before the Empire.
Now, many YouTubers have said, what if they were good back then? What if they could go back in time and change things? What I'm saying, what if we could make them good now? In this age of reimaginings and retellings of old stories, why not retell the prequels? We could definitely do it. We had the technology, and now it seems like Disney's taking it in the right direction with going with practical effects and CGI mixed together. This is a summary of my versions of the Star Wars prequels. First off, the titles have changed. Episode 1 is now The Shroud of the Dark Side. Episode 2 is The Clone War. And Episode 3 is the only one that will stay the same, Revenge of the Sith. It's a good callback to Return of the Jedi, seeing as Return of the Jedi was supposed to be called Revenge of the Jedi. We need to see a good romance established between Anakin and Padme, so that they have a believable marriage in the second one. Now, most of the plot points that actually happened in The Phantom Menace are going to stay the same. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon are going to be working together to bring peace to Alderaan. Yes, Alderaan, not Naboo. Because this will fix the plot hole of Princess Leia being a princess. As the prequel trilogy stands, we really don't know why Princess Leia is a princess. People just call her that. I mean, she may be Princess of Naboo because Padme was queen at one time, but Padme wasn't queen at the end of Episode 3, and now Leia is the adopted daughter of a senator. And last time I checked, being the daughter of a senator doesn't make you royalty. But as I said, most of the other plot points will stay the same. Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon will face Darth Maul at the end, and yes, Qui-Gon will be in this one, but he will not be Obi-Wan's master. He'll be his partner as a Jedi Knight. Because making Qui-Gon his master completely discounts this line in Empire Strikes Back.
You will go to the Dagobah system.
Dagobah system?
There you will learn from Yoda, the Jedi Master who instructed me.
And we'll still meet Anakin on Tatooine, where they have to replace the hyperdrive. But Anakin will be 20, not 10, so that he'll be of more use in the battle to take back Alderaan. Anakin will be flying around in a fighter, taking out enemy ships, while Obi-Wan and Qui-Gon take on Darth Maul. And yes, Darth Maul will kill Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan will cut off Darth Maul's legs. But Maul will survive, because we want to keep him around for the next movie because he's freaking awesome. So by the end of Episode 1, Anakin is now starting his training as a Jedi. Him and Padme have an established relationship, and Obi-Wan is about to take the trial so that he can become Anakin's master. Now in Episode 2, The Clone War, we need to see the Clone War up close and personal. This is where we'll get to see the brotherhood form between Anakin and Obi-Wan. But also we need to see that this war is creating a divide in Anakin's relationship with Padme. Now the biggest plot points that we need to see in Episode 2 are Anakin and Obi-Wan's temptation to the dark side. Now Obi-Wan is going to be tempted by Darth Tyrannus, yes, Count Dooku, and he's going to be Darth Maul's master. At least, Obi-Wan's going to see it that way. Now in Obi-Wan's confrontation with Tyrannus, it's going to be very reminiscent of how Luke had to confront Vader at the end of Episode 5. The difference is that unlike Luke, Obi-Wan is going to be ready to confront the dark side. However, Anakin is going to be getting tempted by Palpatine. And there'll be more on that in my actual video of Episode 2. Now on to Episode 3. This is where we get to see all the things that Obi-Wan talked about in Episode 4.
How did my father die?
A young Jedi named Darth Vader, who was a pupil of mine until he turned to evil, helped the Empire hunt down and destroy the Jedi Knights. He betrayed and murdered your father. Now the Jedi are all but extinct. Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force.
Now this is where the climax of the prequel trilogy happens. The siege of the Jedi Temple. Anakin has turned away from the Jedi Order, and he's been helping Palpatine frame the Jedi for things that they haven't done. Palpatine has gained enough support in the Senate to turn the entire galaxy against the Jedi, uniting them against a common enemy. The Jedi Temple is where everything happens. The battle between Obi-Wan and Anakin, the fall of the Jedi, the death of Padme, and how Anakin gets crushed and made into more machine than man. The ending to the prequel trilogy should be a dark and somber one, but one that is filled with a little glimmer of hope that leads us into Episode 4. Thanks for watching the outline of my renditions of the prequels. Now if you want to see the more detailed videos, they'll be coming out in the months to follow. But until then, may the Force be with you.